Hey everyone, so I'm back with the second video of the two-part of like the best beauty products of 2011. I know the first video was quite long, but it is a recap of all my favourite products from an entire year, so that's why I've put them into categories. So you'll have noticed underneath the first video, if you look underneath, it'll tell you where to jump. If you want to skip the skincare, you can go straight to the makeup, or maybe if you just watch the skincare, got a bit sick of watching that much of me and you want to come back later to watch it another time, you can just click on the little time below to tell you, to get you directly to the makeup again, for instance. So for this part of the video, there's going to be three more categories. There's going to be the eyes, there's going to be lips, and then there's going to be other, which will include like makeup brushes and stuff like that. So I'm just going to do the eyes now for you. So the first product in the eyes category would be my favourite eyeshadow primers. So I find this extremely important. I only really got into using eyeshadow primers when I got onto YouTube, to be honest, and now I couldn't even imagine life without. So this is one you're probably sick to the teeth of hearing me going on about, but it is a brilliant primer. It's the BH Cosmetics eye and lip primer. I don't really use it for lips, but I use it for eyes. It's what I use today, it's what I use nearly every day. I use it on myself because I'm a bit greedy. I don't want to use it on clients because I'm worried that it'll just go, but I mean, I've been using it for so long and there's still a good bit left. It's just brilliant. It's very similar to the MAC Painterly Paint Pot, which I'm also including in this video. So here it is, the MAC Painterly. So they are quite similar. I do prefer the colour of the BH Cosmetics one because it's just a little bit less pink. It's more neutral. I myself am into that pink in the face, so this I find can look just that little bit obvious on the eyelids compared to the BH Cosmetics one, but the MAC Painterly Paint Pot is very, very similar. A bit more pricey obviously, but with this one you can only get it online, the BH Cosmetics one. The MAC Painterly, you can get it on any MAC store or counter, and they're just, both of them are very, very good. They set dry, they're fairly water resistant, they're really good for anyone who has like relatively oily eyelids. I know some people who say they're very oily find that they still need to put some kind of other primer underneath this. So what I would advise for that would be the Urban Decay primer potions, which I think are fantastic. Now my problem with these is that I only have them in these older containers, and these are the sample size ones. They're rubbish for trying to get it out, but I know they have brought them out now in squeezy tubes. But these are fantastic wee bases if you can get your hands on them. So as far as bases go, and when I say base, I mean a primer will actually you know, increase the longevity of your eyeshadows and stuff like this, whereas a base will maybe just enhance how they look. So my favourite base that I found this year was the NYX, or last year, was the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk. And of course most of you know what this is like. I was lucky enough to have been sent this by my friend Heather, or SoClum79 here, and NYX is a toughie to get in Ireland. They used to sell it in one of my regular beauty supply stores, and they got rid of that in place of mud makeup, which I'm dying to try out as well, but I could never get my hands on the Milk, and when I did, absolutely love it. It just makes your eyeshadows stand out so much brighter than they can possibly on their own. It's a fantastic, fantastic product, and it goes on so smooth, and it's such a great product. So that's the bases and the primers. Now I suppose the next things that I'm going to talk about are cream eyeshadows, which you can use it. I mean, they're the same thing as bases really. So my number one cream eyeshadows, I have to say, are the paint pots. The MAC Painterly Paint Pot, the Rubenesque. I know I said that the Painterly Paint Pot was a primer, and it does work that way as well, but they are cream eyeshadows. So I just think that they're absolutely fantastic. They go on wet. You have a few minutes, maybe like a minute or so, to play around with them, blend them in, just make sure that they're buffed in properly, and then they'll set and they dry and they do not budge. So they're fantastic. And last year MAC had really good selection of paint pots come out with a few different collections, so there was so many more to choose from than normal. I really hope that they do bring out some more permanent ones, because they are lacking a little bit in like really good permanent colours, but I just think that the formulation is really, really good. And they're a fantastic product, and you get a lot for what you pay for. I mean, they're 19 euro, which I think aren't that bad considering you only have to use so little of them. They work brilliant as bases, but on their own as well. Then as far as other cream eyeshadows go, I have to say I adore my Makeup Forever Flash colours. So I hope in this year I might be able to get my hands on the Flash palette at some stage. I have been salivating over it anytime I see anyone going on about it on the internet. But I have a few of these like single pots. This is a brown one that I use quite a lot, number 23. So they wouldn't set the way like the paint pots do. So maybe if you're very oily, they're not for you because they are more kind of oily grease based. But for me, they're perfect. And even you could just use a normal primer underneath if you're worried about that and set it with the powder. But I absolutely love these, and they're great for like face painting and stuff like that as well. And then also the Kryolan Supra colours, very, very similar. They're almost the same type of product. They're just the same kind of grease-based paints, I suppose, but they work amazing on the eyelid as long as your eyelids allow for it. So that just means like not overly oily eyelids, which is what I don't have. And a lot of the times I don't only use them in like photo shoots anyhow, so you don't really have to worry about the real longevity when I'm using them on clients. For myself, it's fine, it's because I really don't have very oily eyelids. Then as far as eyeshadows go, I'm going to start with high street or drugstore or pharmacy. I fell in love with Bourjois eyeshadows this year. I have this one here, which is the number 8 Ombre Paupiere, and this is one you've probably seen me harp on about loads. It's just this beautiful pearly, it's just such a nice highlight because it's not gaudy, it's not like too obvious, it's not even that obvious on my face there, on my hand there, but beautiful under the brow bone, beautiful along the top of the cheekbone. I've used it on a few different skin types and I adore it, skin tones rather, and I adore it. I really, really love that. And then they have these intense eyeshadows as well, so they were on a 3 for 2, which is great in Boots. And this one is the black one. I also got like a teal one and a kind of a dark bluey one. This is number 1, but these go on so intense. I mean, they're called intense for a reason, and they're really well worth it if you're looking for, I wouldn't say they're the cheapest in the world because they're still about €10, still less expensive than other ones you'll get in department stores that are nowhere near as great quality. So I'd highly recommend these for anyone who's looking for really good pigmented intense eyeshadows. Then obviously the MAC eyeshadows as well, I can't overlook them. They're just ones that like with MAC, everyone knows there are hit and miss eyeshadows. There are some that are a bit wishy-washy, but then there are the ones like the Satin and the Velux Pearl and the like matte squares. They're amazing and they're really, really worth getting. And I have, you know, all my palettes and stuff like that here. And they're just ones that I repurchase again and again, and I think they're amazing and just such a great variety available. And then that'll bring me on to, of course, the Inglot eyeshadows, which I am absolutely obsessed with. Inglot I became obsessed with about 2 years ago, and it's not waning. I've made about 2 trips to the Irish store in the last couple of years, and the last time I spent a good couple of £100, and they're just amazing eyeshadows. Now this is going to bring me on to the palettes as well, because the MAC palettes and the Inglot palettes, for their Freedom systems, I know the MAC one isn't called the Freedom system, but like you can just buy whatever ones you want to put them into the empty palettes, and then the Inglot one is called the Freedom system. Hands down the best palette system I've come across so far. I absolutely adore them. I have several of the Inglot palettes. I want to get more of their matte ones because I just think that they're absolutely fantastic. Some of them trump the MAC ones. The variety is much higher than any other brand I've come across, and the quality is extremely, extremely good, and the prices are very fair still here in Ireland. Now I know there was a bit of an issue with prices elsewhere, maybe was it England or somewhere where they went up a wee bit, but honestly for like this big pan, or this big one here, it's only about 40 or 50 euro, 50 maybe, but that's phenomenal compared to other brands, so I'd highly recommend those. Then as far as like smaller like quad palettes or other small palettes go, I had to include this Kiko palette that my little sister brought home from Italy for me. I fell in love with it. It came in a lovely, like, first of all it was in a box, then there was this like lovely like kind of velvety pocket or case that this was in, and then this actual cover or box itself is lovely. So it comes with like really like fancy gold writing, and then the inside lovely big mirror and beautiful eyeshadows. So I have been on about these before. This is the number 2 Colour Fever eyeshadow palette, Luxurious Gold and Plum. I got this in time for Christmas because my sister was there beforehand, and I used this a load over like November, December, so absolutely adore that palette. And then I have to say one of my other favourite all-time palettes for the year of like 2011 will be the Urban Decay Black palette. So I went through phases of like using this non-stop for like a month and then leaving it aside and forgetting about it, and then I'd use it again maybe a month or 2 later and go back and just be obsessed with it for another like week or 2. So this is just the best palette out there for smoky eyes. That's a big claim, but I will say it is the best palette out there for smoky eyes. If you're into your slightly more colourful but still subdued, dark, you know, smoky eyes, so this is just a brilliant palette. I had to get it in Debenhams in Limerick because it wasn't in Galway here. Now, Little Birdie told me that you can get some of the palettes, like they don't have Urban Decay here in the Debenhams in Galway, but apparently they had some of the palettes over Christmas, so I'm definitely going to check that out. But definitely the Urban Decay black palette is one to get if you haven't gotten your hands on it yet. Now next would be pigments or dusts. First, yeah, I'll start off with the boring ones, which would be the MAC. So MAC do pigments that you just can't ignore. They have like blue-brown pigment. They have, one of my favourites lately, I have it in a wee sample pot here, would be the vanilla pigment. I have it today as my highlight. I just use this all the time. Naked pigment is another one I absolutely adore. Cocomotion. There's loads of them. I love the violet pigment. They have just amazing colours. Now some of them can be a bit bitchy, so it is a little bit like the eyeshadows where it's hit and miss, but again, as with the eyeshadows, when they hit, they really hit, and they're phenomenal products. And even though they're not in this size case anymore, they're in the smaller little tubs, you're still not going to go through that kind of tub if you're just a regular makeup, unless you're like a body painter or you use it for you know, bigger canvases or whatever. So it was a pain in the backside when they downgraded the size without downgrading the price, but it doesn't affect the quality of the product, so I still adore them. Then the Illamasqua, where is it gone? The Illamasqua pigments here, I have Tingle, which is a gorgeous white one. I love the little packaging they come in as well. I adore this pigment. I used to have one of their other pigments, which was like a dark purpley one, but that was when they first ever came out, and they've since improved the formula, because the other formula, it just didn't go on very well. It didn't adhere to the skin very well, whereas they listened to all the feedback they were getting and stuff like that, and they did improve the formula. So now I really like their newer pigments. And I think that they're fantastic if you can get your hands on them. And then one thing I have to mention, which if you follow me you might have heard of them, they are slightly more less known brand, and it's Fardel. So this is a Belgian brand, and it is only available online or through professional makeup stores like Screen Face or Charles Fox or Guru Makeup Emporium, those kind of places that I know of in London anyhow. But you get these pigments in massive pots. I have a couple of them, and they're just beautiful. It probably won't show up on camera, but they're just along the inside. I've used this on a few different videos, but they're so finely milled. They go on beautiful. A lot of them are slightly duotone or duochrome or whatever you want to call it. And for the price, I can't remember the price offhand, but I know it's not that much, about £6 or something like for that, and you get a ton of product. This is either 606 or 909, I'm not sure because they don't have a line under it, but if you can get onto the Screenface or Charles Fox website and check out their stuff, definitely worth getting if you can. Then going on to eyeliners, I'm going to start off with Kohl pencils. Now my favourite kind of eyeliner is a soft Kohl. I'm not really bonkers about hard eyeliners, like hard pencils, unless it's for eyebrows. I just don't see the need for them. So the only ones I'm really going to be talking about here are soft Kohls. Now my favourite ones, I definitely, again, I'm going to have to say MAC. They have, I wouldn't say the biggest range in the world, but they have some really nice shades within that range. So of course, like Smoulder and Feline, well, Feline kind of trumps Smoulder, but just amazing, dark, smudgy, so blendable black pencils. They're brilliant for doing smoky eye. If you're watery, they mightn't be the best for in on the waterline. Again, I can kind of get away with them because I don't have the most watery eyes in the world, but what I often do as well is just set them with a matte black powder, and that works really well. So those ones, if you haven't had Smoulder or Feline in your life, you really have to try them out. And then Teddy is another one I absolutely adore. This is like a metallic-y, bronzy one. I use this an awful lot, especially on slightly older clients who don't want something quite as harsh as a black. And it just, again, it smudges really well, it blends really well, and it's really pretty on. They have, is it Powersurge, I think is the name of the kind of goldy one. And there's there's another couple of really, really nice ones. And then I also fell in love with the Pixie Endless Silky Eye pen that was sent to me by my friend Amy earlier on last year. I have the colour Black Tulip, and this is number 3. So this is a really interesting product. I don't know, you can see the colour of it there. It's a beautiful kind of violet-y, like really dark purpley colour, but it kind of looks black then when the light isn't shining on it. And this is really interesting because it goes on almost like a liquid. It's really, really soft and almost feels kind of oily or something going on, but it dries waterproof, which is so, it's just a phenomenal product. And I've used it on my waterline loads as well, and it really, really lasts. And again, it's fantastic if you want to use it for a smoky eye. Really good if you have slightly more oily eyelids, because it sets and it doesn't really budge once it's on. So that's another one that I highly recommend. Now, as far as liquid eyeliners go, I haven't really used liquid apart from this MAC Pro product, which is one of their acrylic paints, and this is just the black one. And I've used this like I would a liquid. You have to make sure you stir it or shake it really well, because it is like a paint, it will separate. So you need to just shake it up or stir it really well, and then just dip your brush into it and paint it on, and it goes on so just smoothly. It's such a beautiful product. Really, really good for body painting and stuff like that as well, obviously, but that works really well. And then of course, when it comes to liquid eyeliner, I'm going to have to say my Maybelline, the Eye Studio Lasting Drama Eye Gel. This one, I love it because it goes on so black. I've always loved my MAC FluidLine, the BlackTrack one, but this one I find sometimes you have to go over it a couple of times to get it really, really black, and it can be a little bit difficult to get that really intense looking. This goes on intense straight off, and pretty much whenever I wear it, there's a few girls I know who can always tell straight off when I'm wearing this one, because it goes on so black. So that's one I'd highly recommend, and it's Maybelline, it's less expensive, it's a bit more available, or you know, it's going to be easier to get a hold of than some of the other ones. And then also my Nye Magi Cake, which is like an aqua paint or an aqua colour in licorice black. It's just one that you activate with water or like a mixing medium and put it on with a brush. Fantastic product as well. So it can be waterproof if you mix it with like an activating lotion that is waterproof. I know of Screen Face and Ben Nye and Kryolan do a few of them. So as far as mascaras, last year was the year of Max Factor, absolutely. I've been a fan of Max Factor for years. My favourite one, and this is pretty much my holy grail mascara, is the Max Factor Masterpiece Max. I've used it for years, I adore it, and I didn't have it for most of last year, but I got it in one of the Christmas sets towards the end of the year, and I've fallen in love with it again. But one that I totally used like pretty much for the last few months, the last like 3 or 4 months of last year, the False Lash Effect. I hated this when I first got it, put it aside for about a month, came back to it, and then it was just amazing. So this is one I really love. I really like the brush because the bristles aren't too long, which I find can be a hindrance sometimes, to be honest, because it gets in and gets more on your skin than on your lashes. And then it's a nice big fat brush, so it's really good for getting really voluminous lashes. So Max Factor definitely for me would be my favourite mascara brand out there. Okay, so now on to false eyelashes, and I have 3 different brands here to show you, and they're all 3 different price ranges. So the first price range would be these ones that you can get in Pennies or Primark or Dunnes Stores, or I think I've seen them in pharmacies as well here in Ireland, and they're called, the name of the brand is Active Cosmetics, and you get 5 packs of these kind of eyeshadows for €8, which is amazing. And the not eyeshadows, false eyelashes, and they are all a rip-off, I don't really like using that word, but like copies of the Girls Aloud ones. So a Girls Aloud one here will set you about back, I don't know, at least €12. It's about that here in Ireland anyhow. They're not that cheap, you know, as in like they're up there with the MAC ones or whatever. So you get 5 of these for €8, and they're just as good and very similar to the Girls Aloud ones. So these ones I've been using loads and I've gotten loads of compliments, and like I said, there's 5 different types. Then of course there's the Girls Aloud ones. They come out with like festival, these would be like just some of the regular ones. So there's the Kimberly and the Nicole. Then there would be the festival ones that they came out with, and then I think they also came out with like Christmas ones as well. So there's always loads of different ones to choose from. They're by the brand Eyelure. The Eyelure own ones are okay. I think they can be a little bit flimsy, so I wouldn't always say that they're the most amazing ones in the world. And then of course the MAC ones, I love the numbers 36s, which I don't have on me. I used them in a wedding makeup there last week, and 33s here are ones that I've been using tons and tons and tons last year. I usually cut off the last few tufts so that it goes from short to longer, or even cut them in half and use them as half lashes as well. That works really, really well. So I absolutely adore those. And then as far as eyelash glue goes, definitely my Duo Black. That's my favourite. Now I do have the clear Duo as well, which I'd use more in bridal makeups and stuff like that, but for nighttime, the black, because you nearly always have a wee bit of black liner over your lashes at nighttime. So they would be my pick of the lashes or the lash products. Then eyebrow sets were something that I had in abundance last year. I had a good few sent to me. I had a few that I bought myself, and a few of them stood out. So for one of the ones, I'll just pick them randomly, would be this Vivo. So this Vivo set, it came with a little brush there, which was absolutely rubbish, so I threw it away. But it comes also with this clear brow gel, which is fantastic, and I've been using it myself. I have it on today as well, and the 3 colours that it comes with are just really, really nice. This really nice kind of neutrally blonde taupe colour, more of a red warm toned brown, and then this darker, more neutral, slightly cool toned brown. So what I've done today is I have the darker one on the outer corner, and then I have the reddy one there on the main body of my eyebrows, and I love it. I just think it's really, really handy. Love the colours. The powder is just a nice consistency where it adheres to the skin just as well as it adheres to the hairs. And this is going to be available in Tesco. Now, it was launched in Tesco recently in the UK. I don't know if it's here in Ireland yet, but you can definitely keep an eye out for it, and they're going to be only about £5, so it's really, really not that expensive, and this is something I would highly recommend. The Sleek Brow Kit is another one that I fell in love with. I got one for light because I was kind of blonde at the time, or still like roughly blonde at the time when I got it, but I still use it on myself now. This is a waxy, like a cream wax that you can put on, and it is darker than this, so I actually really like this when it's on. Keeps the hairs in place as well, so there's no need for a brow gel, and then you can put some of the lighter one through the hair if you want to soften it down a bit or whatever. So even though this is in the light colour, I'd still use this on anyone, even if you have slightly darker hair but you don't want your eyebrows to be too dark and too intense. This can be really good for it. The e.l.f. Brow Kit is another one I use and love. So you have your lighter powder here, and very similar to the Sleek one, you have your slightly darker waxy cream stuff. The little brush that came with this one though is actually surprisingly very good. It had a tiny little angle brush here, and then more of like an eyeshadow brush for putting it through the body of your hairs, and then it has a little mirror. So I really like that e.l.f. one. And one that I go back to and use quite a lot is my Eyebrow Cake by Illamasqua. This is in Gaze, so this is one I'd use. It's much darker, but I'd use it for slightly more intense looks. But again, really nice formula, and it adheres to the hairs really well. As far as eyebrow pencils go, my favourite formula or product type hands down is the eyebrow crayons for eyebrows. The eyebrow crayons by MAC. So they come in Fling, Lingering, which would be like Fling is for blonde hair. I just have it in my kit. Then there's Lingering for blondie light brown. You'd have Strut, Spiked, and there's another kind of brownie one. Now they used to also do Velvetone or Velveteen, but they're discontinuing that one. But I love these. They're just really nice and waxy. You have to twist it to get it up, but be careful, because if you twist it up too much you can't twist it back to get it back in, so that's been a problem with some people. But it's a fantastic product, really, really nice on. The Fling is perfect for anyone who's blonde and finds it hard to get a nice colour pencil, so I would recommend that. Then my other favourite brow pencil, if I can get it, this, I only have a nub of it left. It's my Rimmel Eyebrows. That's all I've left of it. Comes with a little brush there on the lid, but I really like the colours it comes in. The dark brown is kind of what I've used lately. You can also get hazel. I just really like how they work. I've used them for years, since I was kind of an older teenager, and always go back to it. So it's for a reason. I've used other ones, they've been grand, but for the price and the quality, I always go back to my Rimmel one. Then finally, to finish the eyebrow or the eye products, it's going to be glitter. And this is one I kind of was thinking about, and I just had to choose my MAC glitters, and it's the Reflex glitters. So the reason I prefer these ones over any other glitters is because they're not really tacky or obvious or even big like some other glitters can be. These are absolutely minute, the glitters. It's more like a glitter dust, and it's not as tacky. You can use it on a more regular basis than normal glitters, say, and they're just really, really fantastic on. I really love them. You get tons in the pot, so you know, unless, like I said, you were using it for body painting or whatever, you're rarely going to go through that amount. And then as far as glitter liners go, I love the NYX Liquid Crystal. So I've used this in a video before Christmas, and also Barry M, which is a bit more, I'd say NYX is more available maybe in the US, and then Barry M will be more available here in Ireland and the UK. Barry M do glitter liquid liners as well, which are just as good. So that's the end of the eye section, and next I'm going to go on to lips. And as I said before, if you're sick of watching me at this stage, you can always just go back, save the video for later, and then click on the timestamp below to get back to wherever you left off in the video, because the categories have been they have been timestamped below. So as long as you just press the time underneath, it'll bring you straight to the category you want to see. So also I hope my costume changes aren't giving you whiplash. I've been just filming this over like the 2 videos over 3 different days. So yeah, with that, I'll start off with my favourite lip primers. So, or primer, I only really have the one that I love and that I know works and I use it all the time. It's the MAC Prep and Prime. So this comes in like, it looks kind of like a moisturising conditioner stick or whatever, and then you put it on your lips all over, even extend it over the lip line a little bit. Trick is let it go tacky, which takes about half a minute to a minute or so. I like to do it when I say have my face on and then maybe do my lips and then do my eyes and then come back once it's tacky. And then when that goes tacky, it really grabs onto whatever you put on over it, and your lipstick just stays so much longer than it would without it. So I think this is amazing. It also helps stop bleeding and feathering and stuff like that, so that's really, really handy. As far as lip pencils go, for drugstore brand, I would say I like the L'Oreal. I like L'Oreal for lipsticks. Rimmel have good ones as well, but I don't really have too many of theirs at the moment. The Infallible Lip Liner Pencil, yeah, lip line pencil by L'Oreal is a good one. This is just a basic like nudie one. It's in the colour Always Toasted, but it's a really nice one just for natural lip colours. So that's one that I find is really good and very affordable. Then I like the Inglot ones as well. When I was in the Inglot store, they had actually about 2 or 3 different types of lip pencils to choose from, which was really class. And I really like this one. It's the Lip Liner Crayon. This is in the colour 859, and it's another just really neutral, basic, like nudie shade. And what I really like about this is one that goes up and down. So you don't need to top it, but it has a wee brush here on this side, which is dead handy for, you know, if you want to just use the lip liner as a stain even and just put it all over your lips. So you could like lip line the outside and then feather it in towards the inside, or you could use it as a lipstick brush as well. So that one's dead handy. And then for the kind of more higher end lip liners, it definitely has to be my MAC ones. They just do amazing colours. Subculture is one that is an absolute staple. I own about 4 of them. I have like one in my kit, no, probably 2 in my kit, one in my makeup bag that comes around with me all the time, one here. So that's one thing I use all the time. They do amazing reds. They have brick and cherry and auburn, loads and loads of different reds to choose from. I wish they had more pinks to choose from because there aren't that many bright pinks. Magenta is a lovely one. It's a really, really cool pink, which is that one there. So it's a really, really good colour and one that I use an awful lot. So that's one I absolutely adore. Then obviously with the limited edition collections that MAC come out with throughout the year, different ones, you get some really interesting colours. So this was one that came out not last summer, I think it was the summer before. It was called Temperature Rising. that amazingly gorgeous fluorescent orange lipstick. So they do, or lip liner, they come out with really, really good colours that you wouldn't normally get. I love those as far as lip liners go. For lip stains, the reason I added this is because I haven't been wearing lipsticks too much really since I got the braces on, because I do find that it transfers onto the braces if I'm not very careful about, you know, not having too much on the centre of my lips or whatever. But lip stains are something that I found that kind of allows me to get around that, because lip stains just don't really transfer. So I really like some of the ones that came out again with old collections of MAC, so it's not permanent. But this one was called Runway Ripened, that's hard to say. This was a Pro Longwear lip stain. So I really like the Pro Longwear range that MAC do. Now the only thing with lip stains is they can kind of dry out, so you have to be careful, but that's that one there. It's just a lovely kind of berry colour. And then I have this one by Max Factor, which of course it'd be a little bit more affordable. This one's a lot newer, so it's going to come out much more obvious, and it's that beautiful red one there. So lip stains are definitely the way forward if you do have clear ceramic braces and you're worried about them transferring. Definitely check them out. Now with lipsticks, as far as drugstore or pharmacy brand goes, I love the Barry M lipsticks, I think, or they're called lip paints. They just have such brilliant selections, really bright colours, like really lovely, bright, interesting colours. This one here is number 52, that's this bright pink you see here. And then this is number 147, which is a beautiful like peachy coral colour, just there. So they are brilliant selection, and they're very affordable. You usually get a 3 for 2 in Boots or in Supra or wherever you get them. So if you can get your hands on those, do by any means. The Rimmel lipsticks are another range that I really like. This one is Soft Coral, which is similar to that Barry M one, but it's a little bit more sheeny or shimmery. And then I also have a vintage pink one, which I lent to a friend for a wedding last week, and there's another couple that I just use over and over, and I find the staying power is really good. Again, the price point is fairly fair because it is Rimmel and it's drugstore. Then this is something that I would say is kind of in between a lipstick and a lip stain. It's actually a cheek colour by RCMA in the colour Raspberry, but it works beautifully as a long-lasting lip stain as well. So a lot of those cheek things can work really well for lips. You know, a lot of those 3-in-1 things as well that you can use on lips, cheeks and eyes. But this is just something that I've gone back to again and again, and I really love it. And you can just dab it on with your finger to the centre of the lips. And then of course for higher end brand, it would be the MAC lipsticks again. Because of all the different collections they come out with. I mean, it's a pain in the bum because once they're gone, and a lot of the time they don't renew the shades that they brought out at limited edition, but they come up with some really class shades. This one is called Quite Cute, which was from the Quite Cute collection. So this is just a really interesting light, like lavender, beautiful colour there. Just really interesting colours that a lot of other brands don't come out with. Some of my favourite colours. This one is Plain Koi, which is a beautiful like neutral natural nude lip, and that again was limited. Then like something like Ravishing from the permanent collection, that would be very similar to these kind of corally colours, which I love. I just think that they suit so many people. And then MAC also have the Pro Longwear line, which is relatively new. They have some really nice colours. This one here is Live Forever, which is a really bright pink colour. That one there. And for long lasting lipsticks, they're not that dry, which I think is brilliant. The formula is really spot on. And this one here is called Till Tomorrow, which is a brownie nude. Really nice colour. Again, it kind of goes on a bit sheeny, which is really fantastic for a long wearing lipstick, because usually the longer wearing the lipstick, the more drying it is. So you know, matte lipsticks tend to be quite long lasting. Those guys aren't that drying, so I really love them. And then one thing I do want to say as well is the Sleek Pout Paints. These come out there in September, I think, and these are basically paints for your lips. You need so little of them. They're very like the OCC lip tires, which I haven't tried, but I've heard that these are very similar. And there's just loads of different colours to choose from, and you can mix and match, and they last for yonks on the lips once they're dry. So those are other ones that are very affordable. Like they're only a couple of quid or a few quid anyhow. They're very inexpensive. So there'd be the main lipsticks or lip paints that I would recommend. and that I was using constantly throughout the year of 2011. So as far as lip glosses go, L'Oreal are a brand again that I really like. I mean, I really like a lot of the lip stuff L'Oreal comes out with, but they have the Glam Shine and the Juicy Shine and just these really lovely lip glosses, and I like even the packaging I like. But they just come out with really nice glitzy lip glosses. I like how they last on the lips, I like how the scent, and I like how they feel on the lips. So those are ones I use quite a lot. Inglot, again, definitely one of my top brands all around of 2011. This would be the Inglot AMC lip gloss. These are the really interesting ones that are almost like UV reactive, so they kind of show up different colours. This one's in the colour 541. I've shown this in many favourites, and I really love this lip gloss. There was a few different colours to choose from. The Inglot range also have the sleek ones, so they come in what look like test tubes, which are really class, and then that's how it looks there. So they also come in really nice shades, and then there's about another 1 or 2 different types of lip glosses to choose from. So I'm just always blown away by the range and the variety that's available with Inglot, so I really love them. And then again, I have to hark back to it, but MAC, they come out with such a phenomenal range of lip glosses. Again, the downside being that a lot of them are limited and they don't get repeated, but if you can get your hands on them, do. So this was from the Dare to Wear collection. What was that from? I can't remember. Was that the name of the collection? I can't even tell, but this one was called Ban This. Right up my alley. A real cool kind of like purpley pink with glitter in it. So it's that guy there. Beautiful lip gloss, really long lasting. It's a nice kind of drier lip gloss. It's not too saturated, like it doesn't feel too wet on the lips. They have some beautiful more nude lip glosses, of course, so many to choose from. This was from the Glitter and Ice collection just there gone at Christmas, and I just love glitter. Anything with a bit of glitter in it I love, and this one is just really lovely over a nude lip. Quickly, another few ones. This was from a summer collection a couple of years ago or last year, just a lovely corally one. They have some beautiful ones in the permanent collection as well, so it's just more of the variety, and the price of them are very fair. It's usually only about 17 to 20 euros, which I think is absolutely fine. And then to finish up the lip section, I'll have to put in lip sealant. So again, because of my braces, and this mightn't be that useful for people who don't wear braces, but if you do wear braces, you know it's a pain in the backside because of lipstick can transfer onto the braces. So one thing that I found very helpful to help stop that happening was the lip coat. So this is like the lip sealant of all lip sealants. It's been around for like years and years, and it's very alcohol-y. It's a bit stingy and weird on until you get used to it, but boy does it work, and that's all I really care about, as long as it's not going to do me any damage or whatever. So this I found works really well at just keeping it in place. I mean, the lipstick just doesn't budge once it's on, so that's something that's really handy if you do need to wear lipstick and are worried about it not moving. So that's the end of the lipstick section, and now I'm going to go on to other, which will include brushes and tools, etc. Okay, so as far as nail varnishes go, I'd say my top 2 brands from last year would definitely be, first of all, Primark. I just think that the formula is brilliant. I have a few colours that I really love. They have these more kind of vinyl-y colours, and they're all from the Glow Baby Glow collection, which is like their UV reactive nail varnishes. Not that I really tested that out, but I just love the colours even by themselves. So this one here is Ultraviolet, and this one here is Yes Cyan. I really loved these. I've used them so many times, and I've gotten a lot of compliments even from you guys in different videos while wearing them. Now these ones for some reason just didn't come with the names written on them, but these were ones that were a bit more sparkly, a bit more kind of elegant, I suppose. But again, what I love about the formula is that it kind of peels off before it chips. It doesn't really chip. It like eventually will wear away after a good few days of wearing it. So I just think that they're really good for longevity. And then my second say favourite nail varnish company or brand would definitely be the Barry M nail paints. Just the selection of colours are fantastic. So this one here is Coral, which is a really bright coral. I have this one here, which is Dusky Mauve, really lovely colour. I have Lime Green, Then there's raspberry, and then they also come out with really interesting like nail effects nail varnishes. So this would be like just a silver glitter one that I thought was really gorgeous, and they also have, you know, like the crackle nail varnishes like this black one. So I really love those, and of course both those brands are extremely affordable. Then as far as oil control sheets go, which I know might sound a bit funny to lob that in as its own category, but it's just something that I use all the time. Definitely my MAC ones. Now I would say the downside is the price. They are €16.50 for 30 sheets, so it's not the cheapest thing in the world, but they work phenomenal. They really are brilliant sheets. And then if you're looking for something cheaper but very similar, I had a pack of the Body Shop ones throughout the year, and they work really well as well, a lot less expensive. The trick is to make sure whichever sheets you get that they're the ones that don't have powder on them, because the powder just tends to be a one size fits all kind of powder, and it does go quite dark on pale skin and it oxidizes with the oil and stuff like that. So don't like any of the ones that have powder on them. Definitely just go for the film sheets if you can get your hands on them. Then as far as grooming tools, definitely the Tweezerman tools. So I have a few of their bits. I have their eyelash curlers. The Tweezerman eyelash curlers have lasted me longer than any other eyelashes curlers I have, and by that I mean obviously the apparatus itself is really good, but the pads that come with it. Now it comes with like 2 or 3 spare pads, but I've used the one pad like non-stop since I got this months now, about 5 or 6 months ago, or a long time anyhow, and that pad is still going very strong. So it's just very durable, and I do wash it with a bit of alcohol every now and again, and it's still going really strong, so I really love that. I also have 2 pairs of the Tweezerman tweezers. So what I love about these is that Tweezerman do a lifetime guarantee. So if I think it's a good idea to have 2 if you use them all the time, because if one goes really blunt, you can just send them off to Tweezerman and they'll return them sharpened again. Now obviously the downside being, if you're living in a foreign country and you have to send it to America, it might be worth your while just going to your local blacksmith and getting it sharpened there. But it's still nice that they have that option, especially for people in continental USA who don't have to worry about the postage quite as much. But their tweezers are, they trump any other tweezers I've ever come across, so I absolutely adore them. I also have the Tweezerman hair scissors. So this is just a really, like, I find it's just as good as any professional hair scissors. Very sharp. Again, you can get this sharpened for free because of the lifetime guarantee. It's brilliant if you just need to chop off your, I don't necessarily think that everyone should go cutting their own hair, but just for chopping off the odd split ends or whatever, or if you take care of your own fringe or bangs, definitely one worth having. So the Tweezerman brand, brilliant for beauty tools. Next I'm going to go on to hair. So my top few hair products from last year. I've been trying to be a little bit kinder to my hair since I stopped the highlighting. I want to kind of let my hair just go back to normal. So I am using semi-permanent dyes just to give a little bit of shine and colour back into the hair, but they are ammonia free, so I'm trying to be as kind to it as possible. So I have this K-Pack Deep Penetrating Reconstructor. This is one of those protein masks that is really good for the hair. It's by Joico, which is a really good brand when it comes to hair and keratin mask. So keratin, as you know, is one of the best things. It's what your hair is made up. So this is what made up of. So this is what you want to just feed your hair and get it back to its former glory. And you can get like the spray and stuff, but you need to use the hairdryer with that because it'll just make your hair go hard otherwise. But really great stuff. I use this maybe once every week or 2 weeks, and my hair feels amazing afterwards. I really feel that it's definitely improved the texture and the health of my hair since all the messing around I did while I was blonde. Then I have this thing called Hair Mania by Bye Split Ends, and I think it's by Kamon. I'm not too sure, you might recognise the name. I'm nearly sure it's Kamon or just Hair Mania, I'm not sure, but this, it's like a serum. So it's kind of like a serum that you just, like a silicone based serum, you put into the ends of your hair, and it just smooths them out and gives a bit more gloss, and it actually gives a little bit of kind of texture and stuff to your hair as well. But what I love about this is that it's not really heavy, because a lot of these serums, because my hair is really fine and I have thin enough hair that most of these kind of serum things tend to weigh it down loads and just make me look greasy, and I get really greasy then really quickly when I have them on. This I find doesn't do that, so I really like this. My favourite hairspray would have to be the Eyeliners hairspray, especially when you get these massive size ones, which are really affordable, like 5 or 6 quid, and it lasts forever, and it's a really nice one. The smell can be a bit much if you get a whiff of it, or you know, a mouthful of it when you're spraying it, but it works really well, and it's not too crispy. Like it holds everything in place while you need it, but it's not going to last in your hair forever and a day afterwards. You can just brush it out. And then I fell in love with this Schwarzkopf Oasis Dusted Texture Powder. So if you YouTube this, you'll see a good few people going on about it. It's this really interesting like silica powder that you put on your hair, and what it does is it absorbs all the oil, and it's kind of like a dry, well, funny enough, it's like a wet powder, but it'll dry your hair out, if that makes any sense. But it'll just give you so much more control of the hair. If you want to give it like body or back comb it a little bit, this is definitely the way to go. But you have to be so careful not to put too much on, because it'll just give your hair this really horrible, sticky, hard to work with texture if you use too much. So you have to be really careful with how much you put on, but if you can use it, it works brilliantly. So as far as hair tools go, the top 3 hair tools that I would have used from last year, first of all would be this Tresemme, I think it was called the Volume Styler. So it's one of these ones that, it's like a hair dryer, and then these are ceramic plates in between the bristles, so that will kind of straighten your hair as you dry it, which is brilliant. It comes with 3 different heat settings. You have the cool setting to try and set the style once you have it in place, and then you have 1 and a 2. Because my hair is so fine and light, I just use the 1. If you've got curly or thicker hair, you can use the 2. I just really love it. And people asked before, does it give your hair, does it make it kind of frizzy, because you know it's blown out from the shaft, which might be blown against the hair, but I don't find it does, because of the ceramic plates. It smooths and you know, gets everything nice and shiny. So really love this. It's perfect for anyone like me who has thinner hair that mightn't have the most body in their hair naturally and wants to give it a bit of volume. Definitely good for that. Then I recently purchased this fabulous curling iron, and this one I really like as well. You have control of 5 different power settings, and it's just one of those basic wand ones, but I really like it. It's just really sleek looking as well, and it just does what it says in the tin. It's a really nice, easy to use hair curler, so I really like that. I haven't had too much practice with it. I've used it maybe 3 or 4 times because of my hair and the damage I did to it last year. I'm not trying to use too much heat on it. But then of course I have my GHD hair straighteners, which are just great. I tend not to straighten my entire hair with them. What I'll usually do is, if my hair is a bit frizzy, I just straighten the top layer, and that makes my hair look, you know, less frizzy, because if it's a bit frizzy underneath, that's fine with me, and my hair is naturally kinky anyhow. All the highlighting I did to it last year kind of killed the kink, so I'm hoping that that'll just grow back naturally. So now it's just like a bit frizzy without the kink, which I don't really like. So this just takes away the frizz of the top few layers, and that's how I've kind of been using it. So as far as brush sets go for last year, there's too many brushes to choose from. I'm going to have to do some videos on my brushes again at some stage, but I definitely have a few favourite brushes. Like, if I was to show you a single one of my all-time favourite single brushes, it's actually this art brush by Dalla Rowney in number 0 round. Loads of people ask me about that, but it's just my all-time favourite eyeliner brush. There's too many others that I love too much to show you, like my favourite brushes, so I will leave that for another video. But for brush sets, now this isn't all from the same brush set, but see this brush set, what would I call it, brush belt? This is such a cool brush belt. It came from the Vortex collection by Sedona Lace, which was designed by Makeup by Ren Ren here on YouTube. And what I love about it is that it closes up in a zip. Like, there's the belt that goes around your waist, but it zips up into this closed pouch, which is so handy for travelling. I haven't come across a brush belt like that before. Much prefer to any of my other brush belts, and it fits so many brushes. So this is where I keep most of my eye brushes for my my professional kit. And then, like, I won't show you all the brushes either. I'll link to the blog post below that shows you all the different brushes that come with this collection. But I know a lot of you will have seen it before. I can make a separate video on it again. But I love some of the brushes that came with it. They're just gorgeous brushes. Loads of them synthetic. And the synthetic fibres on brushes nowadays are getting so much better. So for anyone who is more concerned about animal ethics and animals and you know, vegan brushes and stuff like that, that'll be really handy. Another brush set I got that I absolutely loved was the Sigma, the mini kabuki ones. So, you know, I love these ones. These are like the synthetic kabuki ones, the normal ones, the bigger ones. And then they come out with smaller ones that are pretty much the exact same as the bigger ones. And I absolutely love these guys. I used this one, which is the number P80, all the time, even just for like foundation or for spreading out concealer or whatever. This is one of my top brushes. I absolutely adore it. Then there was these guys here as well, which are, you know, similar but just slightly different shapes. So there's an angled one, there's the round one, there's a more pointy one as well, which is this guy here. Fantastic for under eye concealer. So Sigma brushes are so great. Now there will be some misses. There's some of them that I think are desperate, like this guy here, the SS224. I don't know what it's called nowadays, but it sheds like a fecker. I'm not sure if maybe they've improved or not, because I have slightly older ones, but as far as I'm concerned, the rest of their brushes are just getting better and better. And they have I think it's the Bunny collection or something like that out now that I really want to get. It's a vegan collection, or a vegetarian anyhow. I'm not sure if their glue is animal based or not, but the hairs are totally synthetic and it looks fantastic. So I really want to get my hands on those. Then as far as brush cleanser go, it's definitely the MAC brush cleanser. This one, it sanitizes, it's antibacterial, it conditions because it has like wheat protein in it, and it just dries so quickly as long as, you know, you're not doing a deep cleanse with it. It's brilliant. I keep them in a few different spray bottles like this. One in my kit, one here, and then I just use these then to fill up the spray bottles, because it is a bit annoying. It dribbles a lot if you just use this top container. But brilliant brush cleaner. I've had the Make It Forever one before. I have the e.l.f. one, I have another couple of ones. None of them are anywhere near as good as the MAC one, so the MAC one trumps all of them. As far as the brush holders go, I'll definitely say again, the Sedona Lace, this guy here, absolutely brilliant brush holder, or whatever you want to call it. It's just a brilliant, really innovative idea when it comes to brush, like a container for brushes, and the fact it's a belt, it's brilliant. I use it all the time in my professional kit. And then another thing I absolutely adore, which I got from Sigma, is this, it comes in a few of their collections, like the City collections, and it's this hard cylindrical case. So when it's closed up, you just pop it on top and it keeps all your brushes safe, and you know, you can travel with it because you know your brushes aren't going to get squished, which is obviously going to be you know, a concern sometimes, especially if you're as much of a brush fiend as I am. So it's really good. I had a similar one by Make It Forever, the Danny pouch, which is the same idea, but it's not hard, it's flimsy, so it can still get squished. So that's what I love about this. And then you can break it up into two when you're working, and I put my dirty brushes into this. I used to use it for clean brushes, and then use my Danny one as well before I got the Sedona Lace belt. But now, because I have that for all my brushes, and then I have another Sigma brush belt that I also really love, I use this now for my dirty brushes. So it's really handy. It means that I don't have to mix my brushes up, my dirty brushes and my clean brushes up together. And that's the end of my favourites from last year. So I know this was an absolute epic length video, but like I said, hopefully you just broke it into parts so it didn't seem too much of an effort. So thanks a million for watching, guys, and I'll see you really soon for a much shorter tutorial or review or whatever. Thanks a million, guys. See you soon.